Coming to you live from somewhere north of Westfield, Wisconsin, it's the B.Andrews Radio Show. Complete with our own sound effects. Yes, we're coming to you live from the little town of Hancock, the B.Andrews Radio Show podcast. And while we are doing this, once again this week, we are simulcasting, live streaming on Facebook. So the Facebook portion of this show is live, while the podcast portion of this show is going to be pre-recorded. How's that sound? So Betty Malthy is watching. Hi, Betty. And by the way, Miss Betty, I just wanted to tell you, we're going to go ahead. A spoiler, since she's already on the Facebook live streaming, Miss Betty, we're going to do a shout out for you today on the B.Andrews Radio podcast, a truly international podcast. We are being listened to. Kay, tell Miss Betty all the places where we're being listened to.
Well, I don't remember a lot of them.
Seriously, you asked her when the list wasn't in front of her face?
Exactly.
Okay, well, go ahead. I mean, where's our shout out today going to be?
Which one? Georgia? The Georgia one?
International, child.
Oh,
we
fine.
just talked about these things
Mexico.
before we went on the air.
Mexico. You're the one doing the shout-outs. I just give you the information and forget about it.
I just give you the information and forget about it.
Anyway, so Miss Betty, our show is being listened to in places like
Mexico, China, New Zealand, Australia.
There you go. She just rattled them off. New Zealand, Australia, China.
I said that one already.
Oh, you said that one
Mexico.
already? All right. So anyway, we wanted to do a shout out to you and tell everybody about the kind of person that you are. And we also wanted to say, hey, to all those people across the world, if you would pray for our friend Miss Betty as she is recovering from surgery. So now you know, since you tuned in to our show live while we're streaming, that we just sent out a prayer request for you all around the world. So there you go. And I'm going to wave at you there, Miss Betty. Boom. And also we have a person by the name of Mary Young that's listening. And so I'm going to wave at her right now. And she is also on our Facebook stream.
Well, you know, we can be listened all around the world, just not square around the world.
You really worked hard for that one, didn't you?
No, I just had to say it.
You just had to say it. And over here on this side of the room, I haven't done my introductions yet. So we want to say hi to one of the co-hosts of the show that is over in the corner between the windows, as we like to refer to her. And that's our co-host, Emily. Everybody say hi, Emily. Hi. There you go. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No.
And our production person who makes us sound so good each week and brings up, in fact, she has our topic for us even today, the person sitting behind the computer that makes us sound so wonderful and intelligent, it's Kay. So everybody say hi, Kay.
Well, I can't do so much if you don't speak into the mic.
I haven't left this microphone yet.
Well, I ain't talking to you then.
I feel really targeted right now.
Well, you are.
What, just because I pointed the camera at you? Seriously?
No, you didn't. You need to work on your angles. That's not what I meant. I don't want your camera. Leave.
I don't want your charity. Well, you take it anyway.
Yeah, there you go. So it's good to have these folks listening in, and we just had Ray listen in, so I'm going to wave at Ray.
Ray?
Yeah, Ray from down in Kentucky.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah,
hey, Ray.
So good to have all these people joining in. And so we're live on our radio broadcast. We also want to talk about how wonderful of a day it is here in central Wisconsin. We are experiencing God's great warmth upon and his smile upon the central Wisconsinites here. We are all of a sudden falling in love with 40-degree weather. It is just so beautiful, and it makes us think that spring is here.
And also, if you do note, I'm wearing basketball shorts. I walked down in flip-flops, and I'm wearing a jersey.
I don't think anybody saw you walk down, so...
No, I'm adding it on.
Oh, okay. So everybody knows what you're wearing. It's just that warm here. This is that time of year. There's still about 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground, But the one thing that you will see is when the sun comes out and we hit 40 degrees, everybody breaks out the Hawaiian shirts and the flip-flops because that's spring. And actually, it feels like summer to us up here.
It's the beautiful, blessed time when Wisconsin actually decides to warm up.
Yeah. So we're warming up. We 2 weeks, well, actually just about 6 days ago, we still had 40 some inches of snow on the ground. Then we had 3 days of rain, which packed the snow way down, washed a lot of it out. And for the first time in the history of the 17 and a half years that I have lived here in Wisconsin and have pastored the Hancock Wesleyan Church, our street flooded. We've never had that. We've had the water go out to the street in the spring thaw before, but we've never had it cross over the road. And the water was so high, not only did it come out from the churchyard over the street, but it was also right around 4 to 6 inches deep crossing the street. And the street is raised and humps up, and the water was rushing over from our side into our neighbor's yard, and I'm sure our neighbor was very appreciative of that. But there wasn't anything we could do. So
No,
sorry,
but-
Vern. Really? Sorry, Vern. Didn't mean for that to happen.
No, but the majority of the road was actually completely flooded and covered with water. It may not have been that deep. It's just that large amount of water. My mom went out one of the days and emptied 14 gallons of water into buckets, and it didn't do much.
No, because there was literally thousands of gallons of water out there in the middle of the road. So don't understand why she did it, but
Hey, we have
you
to
know why she did it.
Yeah.
Why did she go out and get 14 gallons of water, three buckets, 3 5-gallon buckets of water? Why did she go do that?
We have plants and softened water, and the softened water kills the plants. So we need non-softened water.
Yeah.
So rainwater and snow water. Hey, quite a few years in a row, I've had to go out, get a bunch of snow, and heat it. Why? Why, you two? Why? What you don't see is he got bopped in the nose almost.
He turned around to face his mic again and booped his own nose.
He got booped on the nose.
Did it shock you?
No, it did shock me, and maybe if the listening audience listens really, really close, they might be able to hear it. But yes, the microphone was there, and I turned around and I got booped on the nose by the microphone.
The funny part was just the startled face he made.
Yeah,
he was like, boom,
I didn't realize that I was that close to the microphone. I was having words off mic down here with young
called
lady.
I am pulling
Hand
up a good news
gestured.
story for later, and
Okay.
I'm pre-reading it just to make sure it's content.
Okay, so
It's
so
called hand gestures.
You're working while you're on air. Is that what you're doing?
It doesn't look like it, but I am
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm using my phone.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of what our work is just staring at a screen. That's
Yeah, but
There
you
was
manipulate
awkward
the screen.
silence right there.
What?
Did y'all hear that?
Awkward slide.
what am I doing, Emily?
Interacting with it.
You're interacting
You're
with the
interacting
screen?
with the screen too.
Yeah, so I mean, that's more than just staring at it.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. So, talking about spring here in Wisconsin, and those of you on the other side are probably wondering what in the world is going on with the camera. It's doing all kinds of crazy things, and that's because I have it. Last time we tried this, we had it on a sitting still, and several people said, can't hear you. So we're working with the visuals, and we're trying to work with the audio at the same time. So the problem is so I put the camera on, what's this thing called?
A selfie stick.
A selfie stick, okay? And I have it in
He's
one
so
hand.
hip.
That would be hip. And I'm trying to do it with one hand while I'm doing the show with the other, and I talk with my hands a lot, and I didn't realize, and so I'm trying to show you everything that's going on, and the camera's swinging and swaying, and this just
Don't make
not,
It's
anybody
like it's
motion
doing
sick.
the hula.
and so, and so
Wow.
this may
We're not related.
this may not be a good idea that I'm trying to do here, but hey, we're trying different things so that the show looks a little bit different. All right. So moving right along, though, today we want to throw out a little bit of a tease. And, no, not that kind of a tease. And so what is the subject matter that we're going to be talking about today?
Well, we kind of have two, just to tie each other in because of...
Doesn't it take two ends to tie a knot?
No. Not the knot I'm thinking of.
Okay. Not the knot. Not the knot. Isn't that a double negative? Not the knot.
No,
Dad,
because one has a K.
I amuse myself.
All right. So, two subject matters
The two
then.
subjects to come together is spring and sports. Shut up, Emily.
Spring and sports. Okay, spring and
Harmony or
sports.
holy matrimony.
That. What?
Sports.
We can't hear you.
That's
Go into
not,
the mic.
That's not a. That's
Spring and sports.
Where's matrimony come in at that? I really.
Sprinorts.
You're working hard at that one. Okay.
Not really. My brain's farting.
Okay, we're moving right along. What's that? Never mind. I can't say that.
Yeah, we're moving right along.
Can't say that part of it. So anyway, gotta love those sound effects, right? Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so spring and sports. So what's your idea? How are we going to marry those two things together?
Well, since a lot of sports have to be played outside, not all of them, but a majority of them play outside, we kind of need warm weather.
I don't know.
So,
Are the majority of sports played outside? I mean, they're even playing football inside now.
well, hey, okay.
I don't
fine.
know.
Some
I'd rather eat actual sand on a volleyball sand court than eat pavement on an inside on the gym floor. I mean, basketball's always played inside.
No, you can play basketball outside and inside, and same with football, same with
talking about, like,
volleyball,
official
same with a
games.
lot of other
Okay.
ball sports.
So spring and sports. Do you like that little springy
spring
sound?
and sports.
Yeah, just like that little spring sound that we just made right there. And it can be done. By the way, basketball is coming into play. The NCAA tournament. Go UC.
Go no one, because I support no one.
That sounds mean.
It does, really, but Wisconsin made it, so Wisconsin's in. Yay, go on,
Sure.
Wisconsin. And UC, go red and black. They're in it. About the only two teams I'm following right at the moment. And we still got Ray. He's watching here on Facebook streaming, and I'm sure he's going, what about UK? What about UK?
Well, here, I'll do something for Amberly. Go Duke.
Oh, okay. So we got Duke and all those other teams. I don't know who all's in it. I haven't gone and gotten the brackets yet, so I haven't gotten the brackets. I haven't filled out my brackets. I probably will do that tomorrow. So that'll happen then.
Okay, but I find something very ironic is because there's only
Are
one.
you sure it's irony?
I chose the subject of sports, and there's only one person in the room that can really talk about them with knowledge, because I don't do sports, and my sister really doesn't do much sport, so...
she's doing a sport right now.
Yeah, I'm really stretching my brain.
Okay. So, anyway, where are we at on time?
Through math.
Three mahogany math? What?
I'm trying to do math.
She's doing
The
sports.
math is-
She's doing sports right now, too.
The math is 1 minute.
We got 1 minute. Okay, so in that minute, we're getting ready to sign off then for our Facebook crowd. We've been streaming live, and we're going to keep trying to do this, and that is to stream on Facebook in the first segment of the show, and so that you could always catch it at that. Feel free, do more than feel free. Please catch the rest of the show. You'll
Don't
find
just feel
it.
free.
Do it. That's right.
Yeah, but that's not feeling free. Now you're just pressuring them.
Yes.
That's the best kind of way to get
Yes, I
viewers
am.
and listeners.
Anyway, catch the rest of the show. It should be uploaded by 2 p.m. At least that's our try. You'll find
That's
us
the hopeful
on
time.
You'll find us on Facebook at the B.Andrews Radio Show group. Be a part of that group and catch the show. You can go there. That's where the rest of this video will be posted. For those of you that maybe would like to simulcast, your radio or podcast experience. You can listen to it and pick it up off of the Facebook B.Andrews Radio Show group, and that would be a really cool experience. Listen to it in stereo on the podcast and watch it on Facebook at the same time.
I've lost you.
Really? That's called a simulcast.
I was never in it to begin with.
Oh, okay.
I
You
was
were
there.
I've been yawning for the last 2 minutes.
I was there. I just kind of lost it in the middle.
Anyway, or you can catch us on Spreaker at B.Andrews Radio Show, or you can catch us on YouTube on the B.Andrews channel and look up the latest episode of the B.Andrews Radio Show, or you can catch us on Castbox. I've been having a really tough time with that one. Or, last but not least, you can catch us on iHeartRadio, which seems to be where most people are picking up our radio show. And we want to say thank you to all those people. And again, our first hour shout out, we want to reiterate Betty Malthy. Thank you for catching part of our show. Thank you for being listening to us and being our friend. We really appreciate it. And for those of our listening audience out there across the United States and internationally across the rest of the world, if you think about it, say and whisper a prayer for Miss Betty as she is recovering from knee surgery, and she would really like to be on the mend. So if you would, pray for her and ask God to give her a touch. That's going to take it up for our first segment, so we'll go off of Facebook live streaming now. And as I normally say during this time, go out, get yourself something to drink, and come on back and finish listening to the B.Andrews Radio Show.
If you'd like to hear more of the B.Andrews Radio Show, visit us at our YouTube channel at B.Andrews Band. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to hear more from us, and to stay updated, hit the bell. Remember, at YouTube at B.Andrews Band.
Welcome back to the second segment of the B.Andrews Radio Show. What is that? A new TikTok you got going on over there? What was that?
I was stretching my shoulders and my neck simultaneously.
Simultaneously, it looked like your head was about ready to fall off your shoulders. How do you do that? Don't do that.
I move my neck.
Don't do that while I'm looking in your direction. Anyway, welcome back to the I said don't do that.
You weren't looking.
I was. We're
in your direction, Emily. Direction.
It's a small room. He'd have to turn around.
It can be arranged. Anyway, welcome back to the second segment of the B.Andrews Radio Show, where people's heads are falling off their shoulders, and it's a lovely day outside. Anyway, I hope that your glass of beverage of your choice has been refreshing to you while you've been away, and that we gave you plenty of time to run and go do that and come back. And here at the beginning of the second segment of the show, we always do our shout outs across the United States and across the world, for those of you that are listening in other countries outside the borders of the United States of America. First off, inside the United States.
Are there countries inside the border of the United States?
Did I say inside?
No, you said outside, but
yes.
making that distinction makes it sound like there are also countries on the inside.
We have states inside the borders of the United States.
Yeah, but they're
of
not
America.
countries.
Well, a state is sovereign unto itself. Anyway, that's
well, Kentucky still is.
Kentucky is not a state.
It's
a
thingy.
It's a territory still, isn't it?
It's
No.
a commonwealth.
It's
a commonwealth, as well as Virginia is a commonwealth. So it just
So in reality, we still only have
We are not
49 states.
no 47. I believe there are still 3 commonwealths. I don't.
Okay, no,
I can't remember what
wouldn't
the
that
other
make it
one
48
is.
then? 'Cause there's
Kentucky,
still,
Virginia.
Okay, and there's 50 states, not 51.
Yeah, or like
what I'm-
Obama said
what-
one time, 57. But
What I'm thinking, is of Alaska and Hawaii.
they make 50. They're
Together,
just, yes,
they are.
Together they equal one.
I know. There are 50 states. They just do not touch the continental United States.
So, Dad, whose shout out do we have?
Yes, I'm sorry. Everybody liked the geography lesson we just had. There are 48 contiguous states. That means they touch each other. And then we have 2 states that are touch-me-nots. and that would be Alaska and Hawaii. Which,
Well,
by
Hawaii,
the way,
Alaska is touching something. Hawaii, not so much.
but not the rest of the United States. There's actually a gap in between that, and Hawaii is somewhere out in the South Pacific Ocean. So anyway, we our shout out today. What was the city for the shout out today? It was in Arizona, I believe, Leesburg, Arizona. So, Leesburg, Arizona, thank you for listening to the B.Andrews radio show. And across the world, who did you pick today for our shout out?
Not across the world. Definitely not. Pueblo, New Mexico. Not New Mexico, just Mexico.
It's not new.
It's not new. It's old Mexico.
Pueblo, Mexico.
Pueblo, Mexico. So thank you for listening down there. And hola to all of you in Mexico. That's... I choked her up. I can't believe I did that. Anyway.
It's not hard.
And so we want to thank you down there for
throat.
listening. And again, as we did in our first segment, shout out to Betty Malthy and for all of our friends around the world. If you could whisper a prayer for her and her healing. She's just had knee surgery from a really serious automobile accident. And we're glad that she's okay that way. But just pray for her healing, and we'd appreciate you doing that for our very good friend Betty Malthy. And also, we want to do a shout-out to CJ's Cafe. And if you ever get a chance, you're driving through Wisconsin, you get up to central Wisconsin on I-39. There's Route 73. You break off Route 73, travel east about 3 miles into town, and right on the corner of Main Street, which is also Route 73. On the corner of Main Street right there, you'll see a sign, a nice-sized building, CJ's Cafe. Go on in, have a cup of coffee, and you tell them that the people from B.Andrews radio show sent you. I was laughing and tell them that Eric sent you. Yeah, sure, go ahead, use that one. It won't get you any discounts, but CJ will say hi and thanks for listening to the radio show, and come on in and sit down by the fireplace, warm your feet. It is a really, really neat place to go. Breakfast, I tell you what, she does a mean waffle with eggs, and
it'll punch you in the face.
It comes out going.
Yeah. So you want to eat it quick.
Here, I was thinking boxing gloves.
Well, it's hockey season, so take the gloves off. Let's go. Here we go.
Don't they still need gloves?
Huh?
In hockey?
No.
They still need gloves?
That's a fighting phrase in hockey when they say the gloves are off. You see the guys and they'll throw their gloves off, and they're really dumb when they do that, because that's how they break their knuckles. So they don't really mean to fight.
They have sticks and helmets. Why not just take your helmet off and whack someone with it?
Because when your helmet is off, you just lost all your protection.
Not all of my protection.
I learned that.
It's ice. I could go sliding across it.
I learned that really fast when I was a football player. The really dumb football players get into a fight and take their helmets off. The really smart football players get into a fight and leave their helmets on.
Yeah, but you also got a stick in your hands.
Yes. If you get into a fight or do anything and actually use your hockey stick as a weapon, that not only will get you tossed out of a game, but that can get you tossed off of a team, because that weapon can be very, very dangerous.
Especially with how fast they can hit the puck with it.
They swing that stick. There's actually film footage out there on YouTube. I have seen this. I was watching it the night that it happened, and I believe it's on YouTube, but there was somebody that was chucked in the back. They went up to the goal, went to go do a shot for the goal, and right when they went to go do the shot, the defender chucks them in the back. The guy flies off his feet, his stick comes up, and as he goes by, the edge of his stick catches the throat of the goalie and literally rips out part of his esophagus and cuts his jugular vein. And everybody else ends up into a fight, and this guy is bleeding out.
Bleeding
and
out.
you can watch the camera just stayed right on him. And every pulse of his heart, it's hitting. You can see it.
Blood spatter.
Yeah, and he's grabbing for his throat. Fortunately, right behind the goal, there was a doctor. He climbs. He climbs the glass, jumps while everybody else is fighting. They broke out into a fight. And this is NHL. He climbs the glass, lands.
Yeah, somebody's about to lose their life, and those guys aren't even paying attention.
Didn't even know. Yeah, they didn't know, because it was a total accident. The guy didn't mean to use a stick.
He wasn't even going after the goalie, because the goalie wasn't even a part of it.
When he went to go make the shot, and he just grabbed his stick and went flying through the air. He didn't realize what had happened. And so the doctor climbs the glass, gets out, saved the goalie's life.
Could he talk?
The goalie's life. I don't know what happened to the goalie after that.
He's probably not playing anymore.
I can remember I was in college when it happened, and I would come in. There was this guy that did a sports review show at 11 o'clock on Sunday night. And so I would just always pick it up, watch all the sports, the football, the hockey, everything that was going on. That's how I kept up with sports. And all of a sudden he goes, "You should see this is the most violent thing I've ever seen in hockey." Boom. He rewinds the film, and I sat there, and I have never seen anything so violent in all my life on live TV. Up to that point, everything else is movies, fake. This is the real deal. So anyway, yes. So don't do that in hockey. You talk about hockey being violent, using the sticks. They'll punch. They'll get into fights. They'll do all that. You'll never see a hockey player use a stick because that's the end of his career. Just for that reason.
Yes, talking about sports, I think you should have left that story for a little bit later.
Oh, why not? We did our shout-outs. Let's get into sports in spring, shall we?
Well,
but hockey's not in spring, so we'll just skip that.
Actually, NHL Finals has not happened yet, and they do play hockey outside.
Well, for that case, again, you'll find out why I would have said that you should have left it for a little bit later. But, yes, let's get into this.
Okay, and officially the subject is, or the poll is, that we're looking at today.
The poll?
The poll.
The top 15 most popular sports in the world. Hey, Em, can you guess what our subject is?
Sports.
Yay! She guessed right.
We've said it like 5 times since even
you
before
thought it was a
started.
trick question, didn't you?
Except
no,
Emily.
I was surprised she even asked me. How dumb do you think I am?
It has nothing to do with being dumb.
How much have you been listening?
Paying attention.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Yes,
right.
yes,
I heard
we
what
are.
you said about me.
Oh. Now we got to talk quieter. Anyway.
All right.
So,
number 15.
Number 15.
Does anyone want to take a
On
wild guess?
idea.
Curling.
No. You would
Boxing?
Yes.
Oh wow!
Would not even kickboxing?
For the-
Just
I would
boxing?
think, I would
No,
think
just boxing.
would be higher up on the scale.
For the folks who are just listening, because there's no visuals, I was punching the air.
No,
Just
she
punching
wasn't.
me.
She was trying to punch M. She just couldn't reach over that far.
Nah,
Oh,
she
no,
was
I
getting
can
ready to
reach.
do the Macarena.
There you
No.
go.
I can
Hey,
reach.
Macarena.
If I really want to, I can reach.
No, you can't.
I'd say I'd like to see you try, but let's just keep going.
Yes,
Because it means I'm getting out of my seat.
that's right. Number 14.
This one surprised me just a little bit, and it's chess.
I would call chess an event. Like, I would not define it as a sport. I mean, it has its own place, but I would not. Sport to me says there's something physical going on. Now, unless you're like playing like a giant game of chess with actual people.
Oh, you mean those
And then
human
when-
size figures where you have to pick it up, bear hug it, and move it across?
No, with
that would be-
actual people. And when you want to take something, like say you want to take the queen with a pawn or,
Oh, you
or
actually
something
have to
like
go
that.
fight for it?
Yeah, the pawn. The low level fighter has to fight an actual like female MMA fighter, and you're like,
Oh, we all know though
that would be an interesting. That would be a game of chess.
Oh, yeah, but here is what they
Extreme
say.
chess.
That would be awesome, though. I would watch that.
Here's what they say about chess. At number 14.
Chess. No T.
I said chess.
Okay.
Okay.
Shut up, Emily. At number 14 in chess, with the score of 8 points, an intellectual pursuit, chess has long been dominated by the thinkers and the strategists of the world. But that hasn't made it any less popular among the common folk. Is one of the most common indoor pastimes across the globe.
We got downgraded to common folk.
Yeah. What does your level of thinking make you? High class society or low level society? I mean, commoners aren't stupid.
No,
Yeah,
they
and
could
wealthy
just,
people aren't all that
It's
smart.
smart.
well, also think about this. What they think about is wealth. It's like, am I wealthy enough to buy a fancy looking piece of chess? That's about it.
You want to say that better?
No.
Well,
I want to buy that fancy piece of looking chess.
anyway, I can see, that's one of the reasons why wealthy people, I don't know if this is on your list or not, so I hope not to blow it.
Well, you already blew hockey.
Wealthy people getting involved in the equestrian jumping sports or the or polo, okay, because of requiring stables.
Is it water polo?
Marco.
Polo.
No, not water polo. I'm talking about horseback.
Water
Polo.
polo is very, very
No.
difficult on the horses.
They call it water polo. Yeah, it really is, man. You got them 12-foot pools. Anyway,
Pools?
pools.
Poles or pools?
Pools. Anyway, because of requiring stables and taking care of your horses and so forth, I see why that's a wealthy person's sport. But anyway,
But
so
I
moving
don't
right
consider
along.
chess a sport because I've seen no physicality. in it. It's no less amazing.
I agree.
I don't want to degrade it,
That's
but
why-
I wouldn't
That's
classify
why I
it.
don't see NASCAR as one either. So I'm getting hand signals. I
Only
mean,
one hand signal.
they're so vibrant that I'm sure the people
I
can
think
hear
you
it.
mean I think you mean violent, not vibrant.
Do
There's
violenter if
there's
you
no,
want.
There's
So-
no color to that. It's white.
It's still a color.
I'm pretty
No,
sure it's an absence of color.
That's what I thought. White is
Black
the
is the
absence.
absence of color.
No,
no,
black
is full of
is
color.
all colors. White is the absence of color. Anyway, it means
No, white is the. No,
it's not
no.
a creative color.
anyway. This is water break time, or excuse me, beverage break time. And so get your beverage and come on back so we can finish talking about the other 13 sports.
You can do it. We can help. That's B.Andrews' stance. Are you in good hands?
Hey, Emily, want to see me pull an armadillo out of my thew?
Not this trick again.
Nothing up my pant leg. Whoosh! Presto! Un gran gato negro en mis pantalones.
Welcome back to the B.Andrews Radio Show.
Welcome back to the third segment of the B.Andrews Radio Show, where we are destroying sports.
And all sorts of laws of physics.
and all kinds of things about this. And while we were gone, Kay and her scientific prowess has, we want to correct something for the record, and that is white light. By definition of what light is the presence of all spectrums of the color as far as light, and black is the absence of all dominating colors except what causes darkness, and that is black. So that can be seen. So basically the definition of light in white is the presence of all light and colors, and the presence of black is the absence of all colors.
To also put on the record.
Don't gloat. That's
No,
what you're
no,
going to
no,
do.
no, no.
You're gloating.
No, to put on the record, I was so confused by what they were saying. I had to go look it up. So instantly, as soon as I
She's
cut
gloating.
it, I had to go look it up. So I was just sitting at the
She's
computer.
gloating.
It's like,
I
type,
just
type,
might
type,
as
type.
well eat humble pie. She was right. Okay. We're talking about sports. We got through number 14, popular sports around the world. And so now we are on number 13. Number 13.
Fort.
Number 13.
Anybody want to guess? Fort.
Golf.
The
Yeah.
word
I thought you were saying fort. I'm thinking.
the word that people cannot say. It's not. So how do you say it? How do you say it? GOLF.
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 Huh? Say it.
Golf.
Is it golf or golf?
Golf.
Golf?
Golf.
It's one of those words that
Gandalf. Thank you very much.
All.
And
I'm going all.
I have heard people go, "Oh, you want to play some golf?" So what? You mean golf? And somebody says, "No, I mean golf." Which game are we playing? That's like saying MILK.
You mean milk?
Oh no, I mean milk. I actually heard somebody
You mean
the other
milk?
day say milk.
I've heard a
There's
mulk.
no E in that word.
I have heard mulk.
Have you heard somebody say mulk?
Yeah, it's a very, very, very light, but you can still hear the
Yeah, the U. It's not mulk. It's milk.
All right.
Milk. Anyway, so
Number 13.
Have you ever done anything with golf? By the way, have you ever gone out to a driving range and smacked the ball around a little bit?
I've played putt-putt.
Yes, I've done
Hey,
putt-putt.
I won the putt-putt game, too.
It's a very
I'm rather good at putt-putt.
It's a
I'm not.
very what shall I say?
Quiet, elegant,
No,
Frustrating.
upper class.
Deranged form of golf. There you go. So,
What?
Putt-putt. Yeah.
Oh, putt-putt. You mean the kid version of golf where you just whack a ball around?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
All right.
And of course, you get kids on a putt-putt course, and all they want to do is just see how hard
They can hit the ball.
I want to see if I can put it. We're playing this hole right here. Yeah, but I want to see if I can make it in that hole over there.
But that's not the hole.
That's not the hole we're playing.
But-
Yeah, watch this. Whack, and then everybody that else sits around
Heads
playing
up.
putt-putt. Heads up! Incoming!
Swap.
No, it's not really a thwap. It's more like a...
Ow!
Thonk.
Yeah, it's more like a clunk.
All right. With
Oh, go ahead. You have something to read?
with a score of 12 points, golf.
Golf.
Dang it, you did it to me, Dad. Golf finds itself at number 13 in the list. Traditionally considered to be a rich man's sport, golf has slowly started making its way to the masses, too, in recent times.
The masses.
Yes, we are no longer
The
common
reason
folk. We're just
why,
masses.
here's the reason why it's a rich man's game, because you had to have the amount of land that
To
it
play it.
took
Yes.
in order to play it. So,
Not only that, but pay the people to mow it.
well, if you had the money to own the land, you had the money. By the way,
You've got to mow it.
mow it. Origin of golf?
No idea.
Scottish people
That's right.
putting
It's
lumps in gopher holes.
it's a Scottish game. All right.
Interesting.
Number 12.
Is a personal favorite of mine. I would
Wait a minute,
actually...
you said you didn't know anything about sports in segment 1. Back in segment 1, you said you really can't talk about this
Dad, hold it,
because you don't know anything about sports.
hold it.
Hold it.
Just because I like it doesn't mean I know anything about it.
Okay, no argument. Let's go. Number 12.
Table tennis, or as I call it, ping pong. I love ping pong.
is in front of golf?
Hey,
Well, I would
look
put
at
it
those
above golf.
Look at those faces.
That's intense golf.
It is.
Ping pong.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, it's the kind of golf you play where the ball comes back.
At 90 miles an hour. But it
dangerous.
doesn't hurt when it hits you.
No, maybe a little kind of sting. Ping, then that would be metal. Never mind. I like ping pong. That's what I want to say.
So this definitely shows how around the world popular it is because, that shouldn't be.
All right. In joint 11th place comes table tennis with a score of 13 points. Widely popular all over the world as a recreational
5 times real fast. Recreation.
activity. Table tennis also holds
recreational.
plenty of specters in interests in Asia. If I can get
I see
get
you're
it out.
struggling with this.
Just a
Okay,
bit,
so
yeah.
it said it's tied. Is that right? Did you say there's
it's
2?
tied, yes,
Okay,
with
so
13 points.
Also, tied at number 12.
No, it's tied in 11th place.
Oh, tied
With
at
11th place.
Yes, tied in 11th place.
And 11th place,
Is?
field hockey.
Really?
Yeah,
Who plays field hockey?
these people.
You know, if there's a lump in the ground or something, or your knee just locks, you're going down with a stick and a man on top of you.
You know
That
it.
sounded weird.
And a 2-pound wooden ball on top of it.
And a 2-pound wooden ball probably digging into your ribs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you had it going fast enough, you could face plant on it. Oh.
Are they wearing helmets? Because in
No.
high school field
Nope.
hockey, there's helmets that go.
They look
along
like
with
they're wearing more soccer ball attire.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that. But there is in
No
high
helmet.
school. There's a helmet with a face mask,
That would probably help.
so that you don't get smacked with that 2-pound or 1-pound wooden ball in the face.
It looks like a tennis ball here.
Yeah, it's about this big.
All
That's
right.
big.
Well, with a total score of 13 points, field hockey, or simply hockey, finds itself in the joint 11th place. Hockey has
Also? Where did that word come from?
nowhere.
She's reading it.
No, it's not there. I don't know where it came from.
Okay.
All right. Hockey has for long been the most.
Try again.
Do you need bifocals already, child? I'm just wondering what's going on over there.
I don't know.
While she's getting these words
Hockey?
together, I'm just thinking, one of the times we ought to do this show in English. With a British accent.
Should we sell subtitles with our
Yeah.
show?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was thinking
I think
we
I got
should we should do the show sometime with a
you mean
British accent.
British accent.
British, Irish,
Oh,
and
I
Scottish.
thought you were making fun of the fact that we could never say words properly.
Yeah.
Like, we should do this show in English sometime.
Yeah.
All
and,
right.
run subtitles underneath of it, when people are
you
listening.
can't
Okay,
have
back to
subtitles
back
without
to, yes, we can
without
do visual.
video.
We could do visual on
Okay,
YouTube.
yeah.
If people get it on the
yes.
YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay, anyway.
But if we do it on YouTube, I think we would want to change the setup.
Okay, back to number 11.
All right.
Now, did you figure it out? Can you read
Hockey
it?
has for long been among the most significant sports in Asia and has also gained wide popularity in Europe in recent times. How do you think about that?
Well, I do know that there are high schools that have field hockey here in Wisconsin.
Really?
And I know that because I was recruited to be a field hockey official, umpire, referee, whichever that they had.
Interesting.
Yes, and the guy said, "Oh, come on, we need them really, really bad." And I said, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not running up and down some 50-yard field chasing a little round ball. It's not happening." So,
All right.
Yeah, because you probably wouldn't be able to see it.
yes. Yeah, it even
Number
made me
10.
laugh. That was funny. Do we do 11 or are we going to 10 because we had a tie?
Okay, it was a tie, but they put field hockey before ping pong. Or
Yeah.
shall I say, table tennis.
Yes. So what number are we on? I'm
10.
confused.
You're right.
Number 10.
Badminton.
No.
Oh,
No! You cannot have badminton at number... Oh,
okay, fine. Good mitten.
Do you know that they just entered badminton, I think,
In
was
Olympic
in
sports?
the Olympics, yes.
Dude, yes.
And,
I like
and
badminton.
It's just like, no, that's
I
a
like
bunch
anything.
of pansies
Oh, come
standing out in the yard hitting a birdie.
You know, all I can think about is these old guys.
Yes, yes,
You know, the rackets are so long that you could probably stand in the middle and reach either end of the court.
because it is a little
No.
dinky. It's a little dinky court too.
Yeah.
Well-
It's close combat is what it is. It's close combat tennis. That's what it is.
And
You
if
can
you
get the
don't-
birdie really far.
And if you don't realize how hard you're swinging at something, you go for the ground, and the next thing you know, you just broke your racket.
Bent.
Yeah,
Come on,
try,
they're metal.
Try straightening
not broken,
it. What's
just
going to
bent.
happen to it? It snaps.
All right. Anyway, I like badminton. It's fun. You can actually hit a birdie really far. Or as you should say.
The Blue Jay was flying right at me.
Or yeah,
I love
how
the
about
sound
this?
of that.
The shuttlecock.
Oh, that's
How about
right.
let's go
That's right.
technical?
Officially, it's not a birdie. It's a shuttlecock.
But
Anyway,
I'd rather call it a birdie.
I would too.
I'd rather call it a birdie.
I'll call it a birdie. And I
All
loved what
right.
she said. You can hit a birdie really far.
Would you rather me say shuttlecock?
No. It just makes me think of a little sparrow that accidentally flies across while you're playing a game, and it's like, hit it! Whack!
My hands are so sweaty. I dropped my phone.
Aw. In studio.
Give that back.
All right.
Confiscated
Badminton.
my phone.
I
All right.
saw that.
Badminton is the 10th most popular sport in the world by virtue of its score of 17 points. In addition to its popularity as a specter sport, especially in Southeast Asia, badminton is also played extensively all over the world as recreational games.
Hey, it's more recreational than chess.
I'll give it to him. I'd rather call badminton a sport than chess. And not to be offensive against people who really like chess. I just wouldn't consider
You're
it.
just sitting there.
Right. I would consider it like like, I wouldn't mind it in the Olympics. I mean, because, like, it is an amazing thing. But...
Oh, anything that goes to the Olympic level becomes amazing to watch. It's like, I had no idea that you could do that with badminton. Or the first time that I saw table tennis in Olympics, it's like, I had no idea you could smack that ball that far and keep it still on the table.
I know, they're playing like 10 feet away from the table, just whacking the ball back and forth.
Yeah. So, anyway, signals, getting signals. They're vibrant again.
They're white.
They're white. Anyway, they're full of color. And so...
I bleed rainbow.
Go and get yourself your final refill on your beverage and come back because we're loading up with number 8 or number 9?
9.
Number 9, and we're going home with the story, Best Sports in the World.
Hey, if you want to be a part of the show, connect with us on Twitter at B.Andrews Band, all lowercase, BANDREWS BAND, or IM us at Facebook by going to B.Andrews. That's first name B, B-E, last name Andrews, ANDREWS.
Welcome to the 4th and final segment of the B.Andrews Radio Show, where we are talking about the best or most popular sports internationally. We left you on number 9, and so now here we are at number 8.
No. We left off
we
on
left
number
at
10.
number 10. Correction. And now here is number 9.
Mental
Rugby.
whiteout when you need it. Rugby.
Rugby.
Yep.
Rugby. Okay.
Internationally?
With a score of 20 points, Rugby Union, or Rugby for short, falls at number 9 position. This sport is huge in Oceania and the parts of Europe, and is often seen as more of a physical version of football or soccer.
It is.
Yeah, I do believe
they
that.
They do not have equipment, and I have actually watched Australian rugby on ESPN.
Feels like Gator Ball. Remember when we
It
played
looks really
Gator Ball?
violent just to look at.
It's very violent. Have you ever seen a happy rugby player? He looks like this. In other words, he's missing his teeth.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So,
that
very
no.
famous rugby player,
Who?
Rockin' Rod Stewart. I've actually
Interesting.
watched him play.
Rod Stewart played rugby?
Rod Stewart.
Apparently.
Yes.
There's a song in the city.
Number 8
Number 8.
is volleyball.
Well, it's in the Olympics, so it's got to be popular, and there's a lot of international teams that play it.
Volleyball makes its way to number 8 in the list with a total score of 27 points. While this may not rank very high in terms of spectator interests, it is one of the most popular recreational games in the world. See, I got it that time.
You did.
I
You
did.
did. You nailed it.
I like volleyball.
Yeah.
You mean she spiked it?
And a few. She did. A good one. But you set her up.
No, I didn't.
I set myself up.
That's not allowed in volleyball.
One woman show.
All right.
Well, considering
And of course, we think of the Olympic teams in volleyball, but I will tell you one of the things that makes volleyball go really popular around the world is actually the beach or the sand volleyball, because you can play that with a smaller crew, and you get a lot of people all around the world just string up a volleyball net international. You don't have to speak words. People know. Seen it. Go play it. 2 to 4 people can get into it. So that's pretty cool.
Unless a northerner thinks they're playing Nukem and they end up walking out of a game when the ball
Nah,
lands
it's
next
volleyball.
to them.
You said Nukem, though. There you go, right there.
But Nukem plays exactly like volleyball, except the point is to get players out of the game. So it's like dodgeball.
no, it doesn't play anything like volleyball. You hit the ball, you catch the ball in Nukem.
Yep.
You can. But usually when I played Nukem at camp, you played it like volleyball.
There's
All
some
right.
similarities. There's some major differences. Number 7.
Number 7, like I said earlier, you kind of spoiled it, is hockey.
Why is hockey above volleyball?
Well, okay, no.
Hacky.
Ice hockey.
Hacky.
Hockey.
Hacky.
Hockey.
Yeah, but in the Northeast, they call it hacky.
It's hockey.
Hacky.
Well, when you're that
Hockey.
cold, you feel like hacking up a lung.
Actually, your face is frozen and you can't say hockey.
Either or. I was going with a lung condition.
All right.
Number 6.
Oh, okay, well, skipping over that. All right.
Why?
With a total score of 28 points, hockey finds itself at the number 7 position in the list. The sport is widely popular in North America, specifically in Canada, and is played in virtually every region on Earth that receives snowfall.
You know, for as nice as Canada is, why is its number one sport hockey?
I don't know, but if you want to know something really funny, the NHL has just put a team in Miami, Florida, and a team down in Texas. They do not receive snow.
No.
And hockey is very popular down there.
Okay. Maybe
So
because
I
maybe
laugh
because
when they say that.
maybe because to watch hockey it has to be cold, so they like to get out of the heat and think maybe it's like
could be.
maybe it's like us
It's also
going
a
down to
contact
Florida.
sport, so
Very much contact sport. So.
Oh yeah, maybe because it's like us wanting to go down to Florida and Texas and stuff like that to be warm. You know.
no, not me.
Well, then I'm not talking about you.
Number 6.
American football. And right here is the picture of a Green Bay Packer.
There you go. That's what everybody thinks of football.
Except the thing about the Green Bay Packer is the person holding the ball is like holding him arm's length away at the helmet.
Yes,
and he's
that's
looking
called
like the little kid going, let me go.
That's called
Like
a
your arms are too short.
That's actually
Nah.
called a straight arm. They're allowed to do that when you're running the football. It's the only time that you can touch another man's face mask.
It looks really funny, though. It does, doesn't it?
In any society, anywhere at all, that is the only time
you
that it
can
is
touch-
okay to touch another man's face mask.
All
That's
right.
right.
In 6th place on the list comes American football with a total score of 31 points. Arguably the most popular sport in the U.S., American football has a tremendous fan base in several pockets of the world.
Yes, it does. Europe, they're doing one in Europe, and in down in Mexico, they're playing some. The NFL goes to Mexico and it goes to Europe to play a couple of their games each year.
All right, speed run.
Number 5
is tennis. With a total score of 36 points, tennis is the 5th most popular sport in the world.
You know, I expected football to be way higher.
I expected tennis to be way higher than that because there are major awards. There are three or four major tournaments that are played. One in the United States, one in France, one in England, and one in Australia. And if you win number 1 in all that, that's called a Grand Slam winner. There's only been a few guys to ever win number 1, a few females that have ever won in those, but that's how far around the world those are the 4 major tournaments. That's where they are. Number 4
is baseball.
Ha.
With a score of 43 points, baseball finds itself at number 4 in the list.
I like baseball.
The All-American pastime. It's really huge down in the all Hispanic
Asia
and
and
Latino,
Europe.
and it has really taken off in the Asian countries. Number 3.
Cricket. Now, if I ever...
No!
Yes.
No!
Just wait. It's really intense, though. There's a guy literally look like he's hovering above the ground because of how the picture is shot.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. But they
So-
still wear gentlemen's clothes when they go to play it. I
Yes,
mean,
he
they-
has
Hey,
they
a sun
can
don't-
you
hat
play
on.
baseball in a suit?
No, but they can play cricket in a suit.
No,
Hey,
he's wearing
I think
a
that's
sun
even
hat.
more BA
It's-
doing that.
It's all white. That's all
Yes,
they're wearing.
they wear white.
And he has a sun hat on. He does. All right.
Wait, is that the religion that wears all white?
Apparently. Widely popular in Asia and Europe, cricket misses the number 2 spot by a whisker, falling instead with number 3 with a total score of 57 points.
Now, it's a little bit in the similarity of baseball, but we have a pitcher, and the guy who throws the ball for people to bat, he is called the bowler. That's all that I know about cricket. That's all
right.
that I know about cricket. That, and they have a flat bat instead of a round one.
That's
Which would make it easier if you could really knock the ball. Would
Yeah,
probably make it easier to hit
now,
it.
Now, see, scoring and all that, I don't know anything about it. But anyway, number 2.
basketball. It was a close thing, but basketball just edged cricket for the number 2 spot with a score of 58 points.
You know why basketball is so popular? It's because it's an inside sport, and both in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere where you have good weather and you have bad weather, since it's inside, it takes away the inclementation of the weather or needing the weather like baseball does, and you can play it all year long.
All right. Number 1.
By the way, did I mention that basketball is my favorite sport and that I'm a basketball official?
Number 1 is
Number one.
football/soccer. So I'll call it
Oh,
soccer.
Oh, you mean football.
Football.
So,
Football.
played almost all over the globe, football, soccer, unsurprisingly finds itself in the number 1 position in the list with a total score of 75, alpha being in the 50s. 75 total score. Soccer surpasses all other sports by a comfortable margin.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me there. I mean, and it's a lot more amazing to watch because, I mean, the footwork.
The foots.
You can't use your arms, so you got to, like, take this
hands,
ball.
Hands. You can't use your hands.
Well,
Anyway.
You can knock a ball down with this, but you can't grasp
by the way,
ball.
he did the chicken dance with his elbows.
I did.
You can knock the ball down with this.
It is truly the only sport that teams, you represent your country, and there's already an international tournament. It's the only one that has an international tournament to it. So anyway, that brings us up to the end of our show, and we want to leave you with a little good news.
Well, you know, it's time for a little good news. And let the sun shine through for me and you with some good news.
Today's good news story comes from the Good News Network. Service Dog has been taught to fetch food, clothing, and pay for shopping, which has transformed this woman's life. A young disabled woman has been given a new lease on life thanks to her beloved assistance dog who helps her around the house and even pays for her shopping. Every day, Sally Whitney gets the help she needs to live from her Labrador named Ethan. The Service Dog helps her with dozens of normal tasks, like getting dressed, fetching food from the fridge. Since the 31-year-old has violent seizures lasting several hours, she used to need carers to monitor her every move, and help her with everyday chores. But thanks to Ethan, the academic researcher is fulfilling her dreams with a new sense of freedom and independence. She says, "I can't imagine my life without Ethan. He helps me from the moment I get up until the moment I go to bed and is with me all night," she says. She is from Brighton in East Sussex. "In the morning, he helps me in the bathroom. I have a shower and he'll close the door behind me. If I drop the shampoo, he picks it up and gets me a towel. Then he goes into the bedroom, opens the drawer, and gets out my pants. He always goes for my pink lacy ones." What is impressive is when we get home, I'll say, "Ethan, boots," and he waddles over, and you can see him thinking, "I have to put the boots down before I can open the door, and then I have to pick the boots up again." Then he'll take his own jacket off, his service jacket. He undoes the Velcro, takes it off, and puts it away. Ethan has a huge vocabulary and can fetch items she requests from the fridge by tugging on a rope attached to the door handle. The Black Lab turned 5 years old on Christmas Day. He also can call the elevator, helps with the laundry, and even makes contactless payments when she goes shopping. Whitney, who exclusively uses a wheelchair, as she is wheelchair-bound, says, "It is amazing. I say purse, and he goes to my bag, finds my card, and then jumps onto my knee. I say touch, and he leans over to pay. He's very excited when it goes beep. Then I ask him to get the receipt, and he breaks it off with his mouth. Everyone claps and cheers around us when he does this, so he poses and picks up his ears. He loves the attention. The assistant dog helps keep Sally alive by spotting early warning signs of a seizure and runs to get help. If I jerk, pass out, or fall, he'll leave the room, get help from my carer or my husband, Ed. Because of the bond between Ethan and I, he's more perceptive to my symptoms than even I am. Recently, I was in the bathroom for some reason, and he just started nudging my face, threw open the bathroom door, and found my carer. Then I became dizzy as soon as he left, and just when I was about to fall, my carer arrived and caught me. Back in 2008, she was diagnosed with lupus, an autoimmune disease which means her own immune system attacks her organs and tissues. 4 years later, she was further diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition which means that the tissue that should be holding her organs in place is stretchy and fragile. The former medical student had to have carers by her side around the clock and struggled with emotional pressure that came with it. In 2015, Sally contacted the UK disability and service dog charity Canine Partners, and they matched her with Ethan when he was just a 1-year-old puppy. Before Ethan came along, I was pitied or invisible, says Whitney. Some people would say, "Oh, you're too beautiful to be in a wheelchair," and ask me why I was even disabled in the first place. But Ethan is a stepping stone in between. He draws people to me, which means I can have proper conversations with other adults that don't involve my illness. Spurred on by her newfound confidence, Whitney signed up for an online dating site in 2016, which is when she met a math teacher, Edward Mitchell. Ethan joined the pair on their first date to the restaurant at Brighton Marina, and the pup also was there when Ed popped the question. The loyal lab even acted as the ring bearer and walked Sally down the aisle when the couple tied the knot later in August of 2017. I had Ethan on my left and my poor dad had to walk behind me, she says. Ethan sprinted from the back of the church to the front with the rings. He does everything with enthusiasm and zest. The vicar, because they're in Britain, took the rings and lifted them up to heaven as if it was a miracle they even reached him. Whitney's transformation has also extended into her professional life and gave her the family she never thought was going to happen. She is now an academic researcher and co-leader of Living Life to the Fullest, the University of Sheffield's flagship project, which explores the lives, hopes, and contributions of disabled young people. Isn't that really cool, though? I mean, God gave us animals, and to know some of these service dogs can go up and beyond what you thought they could to help, people be a bit more independent. Because I can't imagine what it would have been like having like 2-3 people constantly surrounding you and fluttering over you and asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" Because it's like, when I need you is when I need you. You can leave me alone right now. And the dog gives her that, because the dog takes care of her when she needs it and helps her. And you know what? People are a lot more patient with animals than they are with other people. So anyway, that's our good news story for today. Thank you for listening in to the B. Andrews radio show. We will see you next time.